Critical tips for new homeowners. So you bought your house and you're like, ugh, I don't want to watch this mortgage channel anymore. Tough, you're stuck. So let's talk about a few things that you need to know as a new homeowner. And look, there's a lot to it. With my clients, I actually have CJ on my team, sets up a time after closing and goes through a list. And is that list covering everything in this video as well? No. So really pay attention. Now, before we start, congratulations. Like whether you bought your house with me or someone else, it's a huge step and you should be super proud of yourself. Unfortunately, right now we live in a world where sometimes you tell your friends or your family and you're really excited because you should be. And they're kind of negative, right? Because there's a lot of, there's a lot of jealousy right now because buying a house, it is hard and you do have to qualify. So here's what you need to know. Congratulations, congratulations. This is huge. So these tips are gonna help make it so that you don't end up in trouble with your house. Okay, number one, super basic, but we gotta do it. Change your address. So many people forget, I can't even tell you. And the reason you want to do this is A, you need to make sure that all your bills are still paid on time. You need to make sure that if you return to cable box, that they're not pretending they didn't get it. That happens so much. I see collections all the time for it. I can't stress it enough because right now you may want to refinance in a year. But if I get a credit report filled with collections because you're like, oh, they sent it to my old house, that's on you. That's on you. So we're gonna change our address to our new home. Now, before we do that, we're gonna look at our mailbox. Is it locked? If it's not locked, I would say get a P.O. box. I would not play with an unlocked mailbox based on what I know about identity theft. I would also recommend, if your county allows for it, get a locked mailbox, okay? You don't want to play with random people driving up to your house and stealing your mail. It's a real thing. Look it up. Okay, so we've got our locked mailbox. We're going to change our address with everyone. Our employer, we need to make sure our W-2s are right. Do you know how much tax fraud there is? All of it, all of it. And we need to make sure you're getting your bills. Okay. What else are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna reach out to the US Postal Service, USPS, and we are going to forward our mail as well, just in case. Because sometimes, I'll give you an example. My life insurance, guys, when I moved from California to Florida, I changed my address with my life insurance, but they never reflected it. So thankfully, my forwarding worked. It was super delayed though. So I ended up in a whole pickle where I had to reach out because it had, gone sideways. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So make sure you're forwarding your mail as well, because even if you tell one of your creditors or one of your bills that you're moving, doesn't mean they actually update it, okay? Number 2, another basic one. Trust me, this is gonna get heavy real quick, so let's do the light stuff. Change the locks. Seriously, change the locks. I've done videos about this before. I can't say it enough. And you may be like, well, the first owner was super chill. I really like Barry. We're friends. He's not gonna rob me. I'm not worried about Barry. Sometimes, I am. I had a client where the owner decided to drink in their home, but I'm more worried about who's had access to that key, right? Myself, there's 10 people who have a copy of the key to my house, 10 people, right? And beyond that, that key's been in a lockbox that thousands and thousands and thousands of real estate agents have had access to for as long as the house has been on the market. It's usually not over $100. Change every door. Don't just change the front door, change every door. Okay, now it's time to get heavy. So here is one of the mistakes that I see people make all the time. They buy the new house and suddenly they start buying all new furniture, painting the walls, doing repairs, doing landscaping, doing everything to make it perfect. I get it. I've done it, right? I've got that new house where I'm like, I just want it to be perfect. I just want it to be done so I can be done, right? You're trying to rush it to get it over with. Well, here's the thing. Number 1, do not do this on credit cards. Please don't do this on credit cards, because what I see a lot of is I'll see it where it's we help someone buy a house and their debt to income was good. They've been there for a year. We're looking at doing a refinance now because maybe rates are lower and there's so much debt that the only way I can qualify them is if we're doing a cash out refinance. Cash out refinances are more expensive when it comes to rate. So I would really stay away from credit card debt. What I would suggest instead is I would suggest that you move into the house, live there, feel it. Seriously, that sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but what you'll notice is like the way a light hits in a room or the way a room feels. You may think that you want to paint everything gray or taupe, but you may go, wow, this room actually doesn't have a ton of light like I thought it did in the pictures, right? We've seen that trick. Maybe I need to do white. Or you may say, wow, I was gonna do white, but I really feel like this room needs some grounding or warming, so I'm gonna do a different color. Really, you're gonna make better decisions the longer you're in the house. So I would recommend putting together a list, pricing everything out. If you're like, I need a new sofa, great, price out 6, look for sales, and then have this whole list, prioritize, and budget for it. Okay, I know it's more work, I know it's no fun, but honestly, truly, it will save you so much money in the long run. And in a perfect world, you get into your house and you're still in a good financial position. Last tip, because everybody needs to know this, you are gonna get so much junk mail, my friend, and it is gonna be convincing. You're gonna think that you need to buy some special title insurance. You already have it, most likely, okay? So talk to your lender before you do anything in the mail. You know, if you're like, hey, it's saying I need this warranty, do I? Call your lender, text them a picture. You know, people, you can text me, guys, and I'll be like, trash, trash. Because I'll tell you, you know, the last time I bought a house, I do this for a living every single day. And I was like, wow, like this is making me feel like I need this thing and I know it's bullshit. So I can only imagine how it makes you feel because as someone who does this all day, I was almost tricked. So really watch out for that. Another big scam is you'll get something that says they're your new servicer and to make your payments to them now. Whenever that happens, you need to reach out to your loan officer. So for instance, if we're selling servicing, meaning that I closed your loan and someone else is going to collect your bill, you would get an email from Guaranteed Rate that says XYZ is going to be this. You would get something in the mail from us saying XYZ is going to be this. They would be referencing, everything would be cross-referencing, okay? But if you're not getting anything like that, reach out. It never hurts. And as a loan officer, honestly, if you text me, right, like you need to be my client because otherwise I won't know. But if you text me and you're like, hey Jen, I got this from XYZ, can you just check? I never feel like it's a bother or a burden. I'm always happy because I'm like, yeah, let me have CJ look into that. I would so much rather that you guys are safe than in a position where I'm getting a call saying, hey, they haven't made their payment. You know, we don't know what's going on. And then I'm reaching out and finding out that you've been paying a scam. So those are a couple of my big tips. There's many more, but once again, congratulations on being a new homeowner. It's a huge step.